5 things dogs do only for their favorite humans. And if you think you know everything about your canine friend, think again. By the end of this video, you'll discover a secret behavior that only happens when your dog has chosen you as their absolute favorite person in the world. Plus, there's one thing they do that's so intimate, most dog owners don't even realize what it means when it happens to them. If you enjoy fascinating insights like this and want to see more, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. The secret ritual of canine affection. Have you ever been lying in bed, relaxing on the couch, or even just sitting at your desk, when suddenly your dog pushes right up against you, leaning their whole body into your legs, your side, or sometimes even your chest? You know what I'm talking about. That steady, warm pressure as they press their weight into you, sometimes placing a paw on your lap or nudging their muzzle against you. Well, here's something that might surprise you. If your dog does this to you, congratulations. You've officially been chosen as someone incredibly special in their world. This behavior, often called leaning but affectionately known by dog lovers everywhere as their "I'm right here with you" gesture, is actually one of the most profound displays of trust and affection your dog can show you. And here's the fascinating part. They don't do this for just anyone. Let me tell you about Sarah, a veterinary technician from Portland, who discovered she was her rescue dog's chosen person in the most unexpected way. When she first adopted Mochi, a shy shepherd mix who had been returned to the shelter 3 times, he spent the first month keeping distance and watching her from across the room. Sarah was starting to worry that maybe they just weren't meant to be together. But then, one evening while she was reading, Mochi quietly walked over, pressed his whole body against her legs, and rested his head on her lap. Sarah later told me it was the moment she knew everything had changed between them. But why do dogs do this? The answer takes us back to their earliest experiences in the litter, where warmth, safety, and touch were their first forms of comfort. Puppies instinctively cuddle tightly against their mother and siblings to feel secure. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Many adult dogs stop seeking physical closeness with just anyone as they grow up, except in very specific circumstances. When an adult dog leans into you, they're essentially treating you like their family, their pack. They're returning to that state of complete trust and contentment they felt as tiny puppies. But this is crucial. They only do this with humans they feel absolutely and completely safe with. It's not just about liking you. It's about seeing you as family. Research conducted by animal behaviorist Dr. Rachel Casey at the University of Bristol found that dogs who regularly lean on their human companions show significantly lower stress hormones and higher bonding behaviors compared to dogs who don't display this behavior. In other words, the leaning isn't just cute. It's a measurable sign of a deep emotional connection. But here's what makes this behavior even more special. Dogs are incredibly selective about who gets the leaning treatment. You might have multiple people in your household, but often there's one person who gets most of these moments. That person, they're the chosen one. I've spoken to countless dog owners who've noticed this pattern. In multi-person households, the dog might be friendly with everyone, but the long, lingering leaning, the ones that last for 10, 15, even 20 minutes, those are reserved for their special person. Pay attention to how your dog leans into you. Is it gentle and steady? Do they sigh while they're doing it? Do their eyes get that soft, relaxed expression? These are all signs your dog is in a state of pure bliss, completely trusting you with their most vulnerable emotions. Some dogs even take it a step further. They'll lean against you while nudging your hands for pets, or they'll lean and then curl up right beside you, exactly where they were touching you, as if they're claiming that spot as their place with their person. Now I know some of you might be thinking, But my dog leans on the couch too. And you're absolutely right. Dogs will sometimes lean into furniture or soft objects. But there's a difference. When they lean on objects, it's short and casual. When they lean on their favorite human, it becomes a ritual longer, more intentional, often accompanied by tail wags, relaxed breaths, or that sweet little nuzzle they do when they're truly content. So if your dog regularly turns you into their personal leaning post, take it as the incredible compliment it is. You've achieved something remarkable. You've earned the complete trust and love of one of nature's most loyal creatures. Tell me in the comments, does your dog lean on you? How long do their leaning sessions usually last? And does it happen more with you than with others in your home? I read every single comment, and I love hearing about your special dog connections. Have you ever noticed that your dog seems to have entire conversations with you? Not just the occasional bark for attention or whine for food, but actual back-and-forth exchanges where they respond to your voice with specific sounds, almost like they're really trying to tell you something important. Well, here's something that will blow your mind. Your dog has literally developed a custom language just for you. Let me start with a discovery that flipped everything we thought we knew about canine communication. In the wild, adult dogs rarely talk to each other using vocalizations the way they do with humans. Most of their communication is physical body posture, scent, and pack behavior. But barking, whining, huffing, grumbling, those goofy little excited sounds, those are mainly for us. Dogs learned that humans respond strongly to vocal sounds. And then it gets even crazier. Dr. Nicholas Nicastro at Cornell University conducted groundbreaking research showing that dogs don't just make random noises at humans, they actually adjust their vocal patterns depending on who they're talking to. Pitch, duration, tone, rhythm, all modified for you. And the dogs who show the most variety, the widest range of sounds, are talking to their favorite humans. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you heard your dog talk to another dog the way they do to you? Probably never. Because those little woo-woo sounds, the playful barks, the soft whines when you walk in the door, those are sounds they created specifically for your relationship. I remember talking to Maria, a dog behaviorist from Chicago, who told me about her client's dog, Oliver. Oliver lived in a household with 4 people, but he had distinctly different vocal patterns for each one. For the teenage son, quick, excited yips when he wanted to play. For the mom, gentle whines and little grumbles when he wanted cuddles. But for his chosen person, the dad, Oliver, had what Maria called conversation vocals. Complex sequences of barks, huffs, and murmurs that he never used with anyone else. This isn't just cute behavior. It's sophisticated communication that shows intelligence and emotional depth. Your dog is learning your patterns and creating a custom language to connect with you more effectively. But here's where it gets really special. Dogs who develop the most elaborate vocal repertoires are the ones who have formed the strongest emotional bonds with their humans. Research by animal behaviorist Dr. Sarah Ellis found that dogs with secure attachments to their owners show significantly more vocal variety and responsiveness compared to dogs with weaker bonds. Pay attention to how your dog greets you when you come home. Do they have a special hello bark that's different from their "I heard something outside" bark? Many dogs develop what researchers call greeting calls, sounds they reserve specifically for their favorite person. Some dogs take it even further. They develop what I like to call commentary sounds. Those little grunts, chuffs, and mumbling barks they make while following you around the house, almost like they're narrating your activities together. Oh, you're in the kitchen? Nice. Now, the fridge. Okay, let's check that out. And then there are the conversation dogs. The ones who bark or rumble, then wait for you to answer, then reply again, matching the rhythm of human conversation. They've figured out our cadence and are doing their best to participate like a fully engaged family member. What makes this behavior so special is its exclusivity. Your dog might vocalize at other people, but the complex sequences, the expressive emotional talking that's typically reserved for their chosen person. It's their way of saying, "You're my human. You're worth the effort of learning your language." Scientists have also discovered that dogs listen closely to their human's emotional state and adjust their vocalizations accordingly. When you're sad, your dog might use softer, comforting sounds. When you're excited, they become more energetic and expressive. They're not just communicating, they're connecting emotionally. Dr. Karen McComb's research at the University of Sussex found that dogs even learn to modulate their vocal patterns to be more effective with their specific human. They figure out which sounds you respond to best, and they use those more often. But maybe the most touching part is how this shared language develops over time. The longer you live with your dog, the more expressive and varied their conversations become. Many new dog owners notice that after several months, their dog suddenly becomes chattier, more responsive, more expressive. So listen closely to your dog's sounds. Are they talking to you more than to others? Do they have different barks or whines for different situations? Do they wait for your replies? These are all signs that you're not just their human. You're their chosen conversation partner. Drop a comment and tell me about your dog's unique vocalizations. Do they have special sounds just for you? What's the funniest conversation you've ever had with your dog? I genuinely love these stories and respond to every comment. Picture this. You're sitting on your couch, maybe watching TV or scrolling through your phone, when your dog walks up to you, pauses for a moment, and then does something that makes you freeze because you instantly know it means something special. They flop down right in front of you, roll onto their side or back, stretch out, and expose their stomach to you, completely relaxed, tail loose, paws open. If your dog has ever done this, you've just witnessed something extraordinary. You've been given the ultimate compliment in the canine world. Showing their belly, what animal behaviorists call ventral exposure, is one of the most vulnerable, intimate displays of trust a dog can give. And not all dogs do this, and even those who do are extremely selective about who they show it to. Let me explain why this behavior is so remarkable. Evolutionarily, a dog's belly is one of the most unprotected areas on their body. It's where their vital organs are, and exposing it voluntarily in the wild would leave them defenseless. No wolf or street dog would ever expose their belly to a threat. So when your dog rolls over and shows their stomach to you, they're essentially saying, "I trust you completely. I feel safe with you. You're my family." Dr. John Bradshaw, a leading animal behavior expert at the University of Bristol, has spent decades studying canine emotions. His research shows that ventral exposure isn't a submission signal, like people sometimes believe it's a confidence and connection signal. Dogs don't expose their belly because they fear you. They expose it because they feel totally secure in your presence. I spoke with Jennifer, a dog owner from Seattle, about her rescue dog Shadow. Shadow had been abused in his previous home and arrived terrified of everyone. For months he kept his distance. He followed Jennifer from room to room, but wouldn't let her get too close. Then one day, after about 8 months of patient care, Shadow walked into the living room, looked at Jennifer, and slowly rolled onto his back, right at her feet. Jennifer told me she teared up instantly. She knew without a doubt that Shadow had finally allowed himself to trust again with her. Now, here's something important. When a dog shows you their belly, it doesn't always mean, "Pet me, yes." Many dogs love belly rubs, especially from their favorite person. But some are simply displaying trust, not asking for touch. For those dogs, acknowledging them softly or sitting close without reaching in can actually deepen their trust even more. Research from the University of Lincoln found that dogs who regularly expose their bellies to their owners have lower cortisol levels and higher overall well-being. These dogs aren't just happier, they're healthier mentally and emotionally. But belly exposure isn't the only ultra-intimate behavior dogs reserve for their favorite humans. There's another one just as meaningful: following you around like a shadow. You know exactly what I mean. You go to the kitchen, they're right there. Bathroom, they're waiting outside the door like a loyal bodyguard. Home office, they've somehow taken your chair. This following behavior, sometimes called shadowing, is a powerful expression of attachment. Dogs are pack animals, yes, but they don't follow every person. They follow the one they trust most, the one whose presence makes them feel calm, grounded, and protected. Dr. Christy Vitale at Oregon State University found that dogs with secure attachments follow their humans in patterns similar to securely attached children following parents. Not because they're needy, but because being close feels right. And the most meaningful part, shadowing is selective. In a home with multiple people, a dog might like everyone, but they choose one person to follow. That person becomes their anchor, their comfort, their chosen pack leader. Some dogs take it to extremes, waiting outside the bathroom, walking in slow motion behind you, predicting your daily routine, showing up in rooms before you arrive as if they already knew you were headed there. It gets stronger over time, too. The more bonded you become, the closer they stay. And what makes both belly exposure and shadowing so incredible is this: you can't train it. You can't force it. You can't bribe it. These behaviors show up naturally only when the trust is real. Tell me, does your dog show you their belly? Do you have a loyal little shadow following you from room to room? I love hearing these stories, and I respond to every single comment. So we've reached the moment I've been building up to, the most extraordinary, heartwarming, and uniquely canine way. Your dog shows you that you're their absolute favorite person in the world. And I'll warn you right now, this behavior might seem odd or even a little gross at first, but once you understand what it really means, you'll never look at it the same way again. Has your dog ever brought you a gift? Maybe it was their favorite toy dropped right at your feet, a sock they carried proudly from the laundry room, a random household item they rescued for you. Or if you have a dog with outdoor access, maybe something they found in the yard. If your dog has ever done this, congratulations. You've received one of the most precious expressions of love in the animal world. Let me tell you about Tom, a dog owner from Denver whose indoor dog Whiskers would regularly bring him bottle caps, rubber bands, and small toys, placing them carefully next to Tom's bed while he slept. Tom initially thought it was random playful behavior, until he noticed Whiskers did this for no one else in the house. Not his wife, not his kids, only him. What Tom didn't realize was that Whiskers was showing one of the deepest forms of canine affection, gift-giving, also known as provisioning. Dr. Sarah Ellis, a leading animal behaviorist at the University of Lincoln, explains that this behavior comes from dogs' ancestral instincts, when pack members would bring resources back to others they cared about. In modern homes, dogs adapt that instinct into something emotional and symbolic. When they bring you gifts, they're essentially saying, "You're my family. I want to take care of you." In wolf packs, adults will bring food or objects to other members, especially younger or weaker ones. Domestic dogs still carry that ancient instinct, but now the prey becomes whatever they can find that seems important or fun. Here's what makes this behavior even more meaningful. Dogs are extremely selective about who receives their gifts. Research shows that they typically choose one primary person to bring items to. In multi-person households, that chosen person is the one they feel the strongest responsibility for, emotionally and socially. The gifts themselves can vary wildly. Indoor dogs might bring toys, socks, balls, pieces of kibble, household items they think you'll like. Outdoor dogs might bring sticks, leaves, random yard treasures, and, yes, sometimes things you'd rather not see. But no matter what the gift is, the meaning stays the same. I care about you enough to share what matters to me. What's especially touching is how deliberate dogs are about this. They don't just drop random objects near you. They choose an item, pick it up, carry it to the exact place you'll find it, and present it with intention. Many dog owners report finding gifts on their pillows, next to their coffee mug, in their shoes, or by their favorite chair. Dr. Dennis Turner, a renowned animal behaviorist, found that dogs who give gifts show higher levels of attachment overall. These dogs are more likely to lean on their person stick close by throughout the day, listen more attentively, show gentle anxiety when that person leaves. Some dogs even tailor their gifts based on their human's preferences. One dog learned her owner liked pens, so she would gather them one by one and deliver them like prized treasures. Another noticed that her owner loved reading, so she brought bookmarks and bits of folded paper. The timing matters too. Some dogs bring morning gifts as their version of "Good morning, I'm here." Others bring gifts when their human seems sad or stressed, as if trying to cheer them up. Some wait for quiet evening moments when they have your full attention. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if my dog brings me something gross from the yard? I get it. Outdoor treasures can be a lot. But remember, in your dog's mind, they are offering you their greatest achievement, their proudest find. Scolding them would be like rejecting their purest form of love. So the key is simple. Thank them warmly. Acknowledge the gift. Then quietly handle whatever needs handling. Never punish a dog for gift-giving. It's one of the sincerest expressions of affection they have. So let's recap these 5 extraordinary ways dogs show love exclusively to their favorite humans. The intimate leaning that takes them back to puppyhood. The personalized language they develop just for you. The vulnerable belly exposure that shows absolute trust. The loyal shadowing that keeps them close to their chosen person. And finally, the precious gift-giving that shows they want to care for you. If your dog does even 3 of these, you've achieved something truly special. You've earned the loyalty and affection of one of the most devoted beings on earth. And if your dog does all 5, you're not just a dog owner. You're their chosen family, the human they didn't have to pick, but picked anyway. Take a moment to appreciate how incredible that is. Out of all the people your dog could have bonded with, they chose you. They decided you were worth their trust, their devotion, and their love. Tell me in the comments, how many of these behaviors does your dog show you? I genuinely read every single comment and love hearing these beautiful dog-human stories. And if you found this video as fascinating as I hoped you would, subscribing would mean the world to me. It helps me keep sharing insights into the amazing emotional lives of our canine friends. Remember, being chosen by a dog isn't something you can force. It's earned through patience, kindness, and genuine care. And if you've been chosen, treasure it, because it's one of the purest, most loyal forms of love in this world. Until next time, give your canine friend an extra loving rub from me. And remember, every tail wag, every little nuzzle, every gift they bring is their way of saying, Thank you for being exactly the person I needed.